All right. So first thing I want to tell you is Stampin' Up! Is offering another day of free shipping. If you missed it, it's today. It's just today, and it ends at midnight Mountain Time. And I just went through my closet and pulled out just the stamps that I own that are retiring. And I'm completely blown away. I hadn't really looked at I looked at the list and went, yeah, okay. This stuff is retiring because so many cool things are coming. But if you fell in love with them, you don't want to miss them because they're gone, they're gone. They're gone January 2nd. And things are going to get hectic and we're going to miss it. So the Merry Little Label set with a punch, that bundle, that's gone. The tags and trimmings, that's the one with the big stocking in the pillow box. Yep, that one's going. Smitten Mittens, I just fell in love with that one. Oh, I pulled these out too because these are retiring. The black rhinestones, gee whiz. Christmas in the Making, one of my favorites for coloring. I can see the Christmas stuff, but these are not reduced. There are reduced ones though, and I didn't even get to that list, but they're retiring. So it's just kind of a warning. If you're in love with them, don't miss out. The cat punch, I can't believe that. Hearts Come Home. Remember, I have one of these sets, not this one that I've used a bunch of times, but I have a brand new one. And anybody that places an order from last week through today will get put into a drawing, and I'll pull a lucky winner that gets that. And if you've already got it, we can give it to a friend. I can pull somebody else. I might have something. I don't have a lot of other new ones. I tend to use them. Christmas quilt. This one's great. The Carols of Christmas. And the thinlits that go with it. Feeling of Christmas. I like that one. The Beachy Little Christmas I haven't even gotten to play with. Snowflake Sentiments. Thought that was cool. Seasonal Charms. Love those guys to color. Santa Paws. Of course, that could be like a staple that just sits in my Christmas decorations. Kathy, mine, I don't know. Shannon's got, it's a snow day tomorrow, Shannon. We are excited. Kathy, I'm not sure. I'm not going to do anything right away. I'll have to decide because I do need to find them homes. Maybe they'll be giveaways. Maybe they'll be reduced. I think that maybe they'll be, I don't know. I'm thinking about it, what the best win. There is a hostess code, Denise. It's on the top of my VIP group. It's also on my main page. I'll get it for you and pop it in here before we leave. Okay? All right, so that's just a ballpark of what, if you can imagine what's coming, if they're getting rid of all of these. I got my first, I get to pre-order because I'm special. No, any consultant demonstrator gets to pre-order. So I did get a little, I really didn't get a ton of things. I just did a few because it's Christmas and I can't really get nuts about it. But there's some really cool stuff. All right, so let me just get set up here. So that's enough of that. But let me get set up. If anybody has a chance and can look in the Facebook group and just paste the current host code in here, that would be great, so I don't forget to do it later. All right, and I'm going to put this here because we're going to come back and use this in a minute. All right, so enough of that. Let me move all these little dudes out of the way, back in the closet. And I feel like I had a lot of questions over the weekend, so that's kind of what I'm answering tonight before, oh, thank you, Shannon, so much. It's current host code, JYQQECCZ. And it'll ask you for that, and that gets you, remember, any order also gets you enrolled in our Night of Techniques, which is on the 19th of December. And that's my last class before Christmas break. All right, so I'm going to turn on the other camera for a sec because I have stuff down here that I want to show you. I think everything's updated lately. I don't quite know why, but it seems to really want to update for me. Woohoo, look how quick it works. I guess an update's a good thing. There we go. All right, so tonight we're working with Night in Bethlehem. Oh yeah, this is retiring too. I don't think this is. And this is one of the dynamic textured folders. I love this one. All right, so I'm going to put those aside for a minute. We're going to be making a tri-fold card. Again, I'm going to move you over. First, though, I want to talk about simples. Simples are my way to help you. I have a layout that we did the other night, just in case you missed that and you're wondering, what is she talking about? Simples are my way to put together a really quick layout. It's, well, simple. And I created these. They're patent pending. The toolkit is too. They come with a toolkit, and they help you crop your photos. And we have a lot of simple stuff coming up in January, including a whole day of scrapbooking using simples. So I've had some people say, well, you know, you brought them back, but what if I don't have a Cricut machine? What if I don't have a die cut machine that can read SVGs? I guess I can't use them. I'm just you know, I don't do that. I use my Big Shot and I don't use it. Oh no, you can. Look, this simple is done using just my trimmer, right? And here's the simple done, same simple, using my Cricut. The colors are different too, I know. Whoops, I have this one the wrong way. This one goes this way. So as you can see, I'm going to show you on here first. You've got 1, 2, 3 spaces. These are going to fit the 3x3 photos. So these are going to be your smaller photos. But they're the ones that you probably had something you didn't really want, like on this one when I was showing in the video. And if you missed this one, you can find it on the blog. There was a no smoking sign over here, which seriously didn't add to my design, didn't add to anything. So I just cropped it out using the toolkit. Let me just grab the toolkit so I can show you what it is, not just keep talking about it. I have a very, very limited number of toolkits available before Christmas. So if you're thinking you want these or you want to give one of these to somebody for Christmas, now's the time. You can absolutely journal on the smaller spots. So you don't have to put a picture. You could put, and that's where the Stampin' Up! Stuff is coming in. You could put a stamp cut with a thinlit and pop it in there. You could make your own embellishment using your Stampin' Up! And that's what we're doing. So here's how these toolkits work. Of course, I have the one that doesn't have all the pieces in it, because, you know, that's how we're doing things around here lately. Oh, that's good. I can show you how they come. Because when you get them, and they come with a note that tells you that. Stamps and simples are the best. Nope, not you. They see they come with this paper on them. It's to protect them as they get shipped to you. And you can see that that fits in there just nicely. Well, this wouldn't be very helpful if this is how they were. Once you peel that icky paper off, this is what you get. You can see that it's shining up and showing the camera. And I can pick and choose what's going to be in my photo. So on this particular case, because maybe this layout has a smaller photo space here, I could eliminate. And honestly, if I didn't have all that other stuff, it really wouldn't change the look. It wouldn't. So if you don't have a Cricut machine or a Cameo or a Brother Scan and Cut, or I guess there's a bunch of others that I just don't know. Oh, and I don't know if an Eclipse does. Anything that uses an SVG can use a simple SVG. If you don't have a machine that does that, though, no worries. Well, maybe Santa will bring you one, but still no worries. You can do it with just your trimmer. So when I put simples out in the class in January, there will also be a sketch that will show you what the spaces are and how to cut them yourself if you want to cut them. Okay? So those of you that are Cricut users, you'll be just buzzing this with your machine. But those of you that aren't, you can still join us. And now the reason it's like this with these two different measurements is so that you can get a double mat. Well, maybe you don't want a double mat. Maybe you just want one. You can pop this off and you could just put the blue in here. So anywho, that's what's coming. If you're not sure what simples are and you want to know more about it, there's stuff on YouTube about them. Drop me a note and I'll direct you if you can't find exactly what I'm talking about. And then you bring in your, and we'll do that in a minute, you're going to bring in your images. This simple is going to be available on the blog after tonight, Kathy. Yeah, I'll put it up there for you. It will be free. This is a free one. Simples are generally $3. They come in 3 different formats when you download them. So you get this simple, you get this one, which is the matted one, so you could pick and choose. You don't have to, or you clearly, because you can cut as many as you want, as often as you want. Let's do it this way so that you can see. You could do like this on a pattern paper. I love this red and black. I just love those. And I don't have any pictures that would go with this that I wanted with these colors, and I just really like these colors. Now, we can pop my husband and I in here. I'm thinking this, I'm going to make this as a ready-made layout that's going to be for Christmas images. But you can see how that looks when you pop the photo on it. It really doesn't, and we were talking about this the other night. Sometimes pattern paper is a positive, sometimes it's too much. But if I were just to use the picture on the pattern paper, it tends, well, this isn't bad. It generally gets lost. It kind of bleeds into the pattern and it's hard to see. Because this is such a distinctive pattern, you could get away with this one. This would also look really cool with a white simple as opposed to red. And we talk about things like that in class, like which ones do you want to use. I will be using Stampin' Up! Papers, pattern papers and designer series papers in the January class, so that I will share the bundle with you. Not right now, we've got too much on our brain. But after the first of the year, I will list what exactly I'm using, and you will be able to pick and choose what you have and what you want to use with it. Okay? Because, oh, by the way, in January, Celebration starts. And if you forgot what that was, Celebration is when you place a $50, is it a $50 order? I should know these things. But I'll know by then. You place an order and you qualify for a free stamp set that you can choose. Not all of them, there's a list. It was right when I started last year as a demonstrator. I joined towards the end of it. So for every 50 you get to choose, but this year they also have a $100 level where the thinlits are included. And they have papers, and it's really cool. And it's stuff you can't buy any other way. You can only get these, and they're only good for 3 months. And they're usually really unique and different. I can't say much, but I will tell you there's a peacock to die for. Okay, so tonight, and believe it or not, this is just the prelude. Tonight we are doing, remember I said we were going to work with Night in Bethlehem. This has been one of the ones I've wanted to work with since I first saw it in the catalog. I just love the way it goes together. And if you look on Pinterest, there are thousands and thousands of images on how people have used both the stamps and the thinlits. So let's see what you get. Some of my thinlits are over there waiting on the big shot because I'm planning to cut these out of silver, the silver foil. So you have these skylines of Bethlehem. You have 2 of those. You also have the manger with Mary, Joseph, and the creche. And then you have a shepherd with a shepherd crook, staff. What is that called? The thing the shepherd holds. It's a walking stick, but it's got a cool name. And there's a sheep down here. It's a staff, right? I said that and it sounded weird. And then, of course, the star in the east. So those are the thinlits that we have. Thanks, Susan. But then we also have these really cool, and now they don't coordinate with them, but they go with, they do go. I think that matches, does it? Does it match exactly? Maybe it does match. No, see, they don't line up perfect with either one. So you can build dimensional layouts with them. Right, so tonight what we're going to do, there's so many options, but I had to pick one. And I wanted to do a little different card because we've done a lot of just A2 cards and I wanted to do something different. So tonight we're going to do a trifold card. We've done these one other time. The measuring will give you fits, so do that first. So you're going to measure 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm doing, and that's this one, right? And you're going to score that at 2 3/4, and the measurements are from the left. So you're going to score at 2 3/4, and then again at 5 1/2. Okay? And I've set these up so that you can tell this is one piece, this is the next, and then there's your third. And it's going to fold like this. All right? Okay, so there's the first piece. This one is 3 1/2 by 8 1/4. And that's this one. 3 1/2 by 8 1/4. And I'm going to score that at 2 and 4 1/4. So here's 2 and 4 1/4. All right? And this is almost, the easiest way to think of this is to turn it this way. And then this is how this card goes together. This goes here. This goes like this. And then you're going to close it and attach it. Okay? All right. But we're not ready to do that yet. But that's the diet, that's how the card goes together, like that. All right? Now you're also seeing some other things down here at the bottom. These are pieces that are going to go back here to add a little something to the card, so it's not just plain white. So you've got this piece, which is 4 by 2 1/2 is the back, and then 3 3/4 by 2 1/4 is the top, and I ran it through the embossing folder that I had out here, this one, and that's going to go like that. I'm just going to grab my snail and put these together now as I'm explaining them to you. So this is going to go like this. Right? And then it's going to go on the front, so it almost looks triple matted. It's going to go right there. Okay, so there's that piece. Now we've got this one. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. Again, run through that embossing folder. And we're going to put you down here. All right. And then this is going to go right here. Again, looking like it's been triple matted because it's going to fit just inside. So I'm going to put that down now too. All right. Time to change the snail again. So if you've never seen a snail change, this is how the refill comes. And you just peel this off. And you take out this little yellow piece. Then you open this up. There's a little place to squeeze right here. And right here, there's a little arrow that shows you where to do it. No nails were broken. And you just toss that. And then you take this and you put it right back in. And that's it. And you're done. And this gets tossed. So easy. You do go through a lot if you're doing a lot of cards. But it's the easiest thing I've ever used. I love it. And I love that it's so easy to refill. Okay. So pop that in here. All right, so the back of our card is done. And honestly, the cards would look really pretty if you just did it like this. And you could put a sentiment in here or use this to write. So even if you didn't put the next part to the card, this is really cool. All right, so this part we're going to decorate up with our Night of Bethlehem parts. So I'm going to move you up here for now. And we're going to pop over to, we're going to go over to the big shop over here. And we're going to use our foil. And we're going to, and now I have my magnetic plate. So it's going to hold these guys in place. I have one clear plate on the bottom and one clear plate on the top. With something stuck to it, I just want to make sure it's not on the side that's going to mess up my foil, and it's not. And I can't do this left-handed for some reason, but I'm going to try. I usually go back and forth with it, but I've got the Cricut in the way tonight. Now, I didn't test this first to see whether I should have. No, I didn't have to. I might have run this through twice because this foil is heavy and it has almost a plasticky back to it, but it did go through. Now, see how this is being a little temperamental? It worked fine, but I'm going to show you another way to do it before I go on. I can get these out. It might take me a minute to fuss with them, but, and I should have tested this before. I'm going to run this through again on the other end of the paper because I'm going to need two of these anyway. And I want to show you what else you can do. So when you've got something like this where it's got a lot of detail and you're using either the foil or the glitter, you're going to run it through and you're going to come back and run it through again. All right? And you can even go one more time just to be sure. Make sure we're really going to get it. Whoops, I got to go back because I don't want to mess up the other guys on the other end. I didn't need to do it 4 times, but hey, we're cut through now. And you can see they stuck right to my thing. My die. The palm trees are a little tricky. They're cut, but you don't want to rip them. All right, so there's one. Pop out your windows. So pretty. All right, we're going to go back over there. And then this guy. Where are you? Oh, I picked up the wrong one. This guy. And if you have trouble with him, see these little holes right here? If you just take your paper piercer and any of these little holes, you just pop through. You're not really putting a hole, you're just poking them out. And you can get it back out, so it's not stuck there forever. All right. Okay, now to get these little pieces out, you're going to grab your brush and your foam, and you're just going to go like this. All clean. Super easy. No poking one at a time. All right, so now we have these. What we're going to do with these is we're going to take this, and we have to decide how do we want this. I'm going to go like this with it, and then this one is going to go down here, and you're thinking, well, it hangs off the edge. It does, but look what also happens. I bring you back. If it hangs off the edge, I still have room. I'm going to have to fold this, so I need to fold you right there. I don't want to mess up my tree. I still have room to fold this and get everybody in and still get him on the card, like so. All right, so you have to fold your card up before you attach anything. All right, so I got it. We're good. He's hanging off a little bit on either side. If it's going to make you stay awake at night, you could push him over like this, tight to the edge, and you could snip off 2 stairs on this end. Or vice versa, you could slide this over to the very edge. Make sure your pine tree or your palm tree is not hanging off. And you could snip this 2 stairs on this side. Either way, not a big deal. I need to get these out. So I'm going to put this guy in the front first to get him where I want him. Now, snail will work, but you want to be sure this isn't going to fall off when it gets to the person's place and they put it on top of the fireplace mantle and maybe it gets hot. So this is a situation where I would probably use my tear tape or my liquid, my multi-glue. Because I want this to dry, I don't have time to let it dry on the camera with you. I'm going to use the tear and tape. Maybe I am. Yes, I am. I'm going to use my tear and tape. So I'm going to flip you over, pop you down, and I'm going to do the same on this side. But now I don't want it to be in front of the windows or the door. So I'm going to get down there. Little piece. If you, I don't think it's private either. If you go to my Facebook page, like my personal one, not the business one, you should be able to see the video of, not that I'm biased at all, my 2-year-old granddaughter seeing Santa on the Santa train last night. It was the coolest adventure. It's this really, and it's in a small town, and it's not super commercial. It's great, and it's a 1950s train, so all I could think of was my favorite White Christmas movie. They played White Christmas on the train, so I think I had more fun than she did. But then Santa got on the train. The fire truck came along and brought Santa, and he got on the back of the train. Oh my goodness. So excited. Loved every second of it, except that then she was a little nervous and didn't really want to touch Santa. It was great until he got close, and she wasn't so sure. But that was my adventure last night. I'm so enjoying Christmas through her eyes. Okay, so there's that. And now this one is going to go here. And it looks like it's overlapping, but it's really not. It's going to be okay. All right, so now we're ready to put you on here and here, and we're good. I don't need to trim anything. All right, so that's going like that. I'm going to hold everything in place, get it where I want it, lift this up without touching anything, and put my snail down right here. There's that one. And then the same thing on this. I'm going to lift this all up without moving it and put my adhesive right here. And then close it back. And then my card works. Right? Now, if you don't like the hanging over, you can always trim it down. But when it's open, it goes right around the corner. Okay? So then the sentiments that I have are terrific in here. So I can put those if I want. I can put those up here. I can pick parts of them. I don't have to use all of them. Remember, they say rejoicing in Christ. These are ones that would look really, really great with heat embossing, right? Do it heat emboss silver. And I have, now I can add the embellishments of my people. So I need my white, my Whisper White, which I thought I had a piece out in my organized fashion where I prepared myself before I got here. Apparently I missed it. So I'm going to bring in my Whisper White, and I'm going to bring in my family. So this is Mary and Joseph on the donkey. And then I'm going to bring in my Holy Star. This would look really good in heat embossed as well. But tonight, we're not going to do it that way. And I need my shepherd. And remember, you also have a whole skylight, a whole series of stars to put in the sky, too. So you really do have a lot of great accents to add, even though you made a really cool folding card and all of that. You can still do a little bit more. So I'm going to grab my crushed curry, and that is going to be my star. Oops. Almost a catastrophe. But it wasn't. You guys are seeing live action at its best. And then I just want them to look like shadows. I don't really want them in a color. What's wrong with Mr. Crushed Curry? And I'm going to go with soft suede. I could go with my, ooh, wait a minute. How about Smoky Slate? That would look better with the blue. Smoky Slate. Now you could flip out, but you're going to use your Thinlit, so it's going to make it go away, so no worries. Okay. Now back to the big shot. And we have our star. And our shepherd. And our family. Okay. You know, I also could have done these out of, if I didn't want to stamp them, I could have just done them out of colored paper, out of my smoky slate cardstock, but I kind of like this idea of having them be stamped. And these guys are going to go right here, but I'm going to pop them up, I think, with dimensionals. And I think I want my shepherd over here. Yeah, and I am going to get rid of that because I don't want it to mess up with my shepherd. So I'm going to lose a little bit of this. And then I want some mini dimensionals. And then my card's going to be ready. But remember I said that we were going to talk about other things that you could do with these? And the simple scrapbook layout that I did, I want to use for holiday images. So I'm going to show you my plan. I don't have the pictures yet. Clearly it hasn't happened. But I'm going to be ready to just pop some photos in, which is why I picked the red, because it seems like that's what we're all wearing this year. Everybody seems to have something red on in every photo we've done so far. That's going to go there, and then I'm going to have the shepherd coming in from the other way. And then my star, I'm going to make sure I can see it, is going to be up here. Yeah, he's going to go there. And there we go. All right. Room for my sentiment, and my card is together and stands up nice when you send these. Okay. Now, let me just bring in, pick up a little bit. Let's bring in this. I'm going to go this way. Now, I haven't put this down yet. If I'm going to have this ready to go, I would attach everything and have it all set. And then, if you bring, especially in the silver, this is the one I didn't put through twice, so I have to kind of fight with it a little. So let's take our time so we don't rip off a palm tree. And then these guys go right down here. And now I have this incredible border that's going to go with my images. Not at all what it was planned to do, but it's going to be perfect with this, just down here at the bottom. And I'm going to do the same thing. Let me grab these guys off of here for a minute. Come on, Mary and Joseph, you can come with me just for a minute. And then they could do the same thing. They could go right here. Wouldn't these be great for our Sunday morning service pictures? Or the other tradition that with these is that we read the Christmas story at night, even though the kids are still pretty little. We read the short version. Kathy wants to know where I would put a title. I would do a title up here, and I would do just something that would fit within here. If you really need more room than that, you could get rid of this box, and then you would have room up here. Remember, you can always trim symbols down if you decide you need a bigger title. But I think that you could easily create a title that would go here. Now, if you're not using a Cricut, you could use one of your, you're too big. You could use one of your layered thinlits. And what is the sentiment? Blessed Christmas wishes would fit in there. Let me pull you out. Let's do this on the white. And that would go right there. Really super easy. So let's say that's going to be our title. So we're going to move you over. And we're going to stamp that. And again, I'm kind of matchy-matchy. So I could do the black, which would look really sharp, or I could do the cherry cobbler. I am going to go with the black, though. And here's my basic black. I'm going to make sure I have enough room. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out of that pattern paper. I think I have a piece left big enough right here. I do. And then this was what was cut left over from the simple. Then I'm going to go down one. I'm hoping this is going to work. Down one. Yep, that's going to go for there. Okay? All right, so let's go over to the big shot. And I'm going to put this one here. All right. Pop you over here. And then bring you and run you through here. So you don't always have to use the same stamp set, but this works. And I'm going to bring in some dimensionals on this. And then I've got those incredible rhinestones before they go away. I love red and black together. Bring everything back together. All right, so now we're going to put this down. There we go. And then this one, make sure I have you right. And bring you in. And then you, oops. Go there. And you need to have a few things popped out of you. So the biggest thing about using your products with your simples or in your scrapbooking, whatever it may be, is kind of thinking outside the box, thinking beyond just a card. Where else could that go? What other things do we have that we could use in here? Well, sometimes you struggle with what to do for journaling, and sometimes the sentiments that come with your stamp sets are really, they say enough. And just adding the dates of when you took it so that you'll remember is really sufficient. So look in this stamp set, for example, and this has, wishing you a season of joy as we remember the night when love came down to earth and became our song of celebration. Well, maybe I don't want the wishing you a season of joy on my layout, but as we remember the night, that whole part would be really cool. So if I masked that away, I could add that right in the middle, right here, in my black ink on the red, and that would look really cool. I could also do that with, again, the heat embossing on your darker, more vibrant colors really makes it pop. Adding these star stamps up in these corners would add some really great, again, heat embossing. I think that the fact that heat embossing looks so cool, and it really isn't that hard. It just looks amazing, especially when you're using the coils. So here we've made, I don't want to take time to do all that with you. We've made this super cool, really easy layout that's ready to go, ready for those great photos. I can just pop this in my album, and I actually might get this done. Okay, does anybody have any questions about how that works, how simples work? And seriously, they really are simple. They really are. Okay? All right. Well, thanks for coming to the, oh my gosh, how much can she do in this short of amount of time hour? We did it all. So we've got simples with or without machines. We've got a trifold card using your trimmer and your Stamp & Score, and you are good to go. Whoops, I remember I took the family off of here. You probably would make 2 of those. We are just mass producing really quick. All right, everybody, have a great night. This is all that I've planned this week, but you know me, I'll be back later in the week. I'll put it in the Facebook groups when we've got another one. I'm not exactly sure what we'll do later this week, but we've got something else to do. I'm sure we do. And then on Monday night is my VIP night or my club night, one of the two. But watch for notes. I will email you what's going on so you don't miss a thing. Have a great week. Spend some time with your family. Get some of your presents done. Work really hard so you can enjoy some time off, I hope. And I will see you all soon. Bye. Have a great snow day, those of you that get one tomorrow.